So, the nightmare begins again.
Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of me doing something incredibly stupid and ill-advised. So last time we set all the groundwork for what we're doing here, so let's jump right into Chapter 3. A classic case of a map that starts out really rough and then once the first 5 seconds are over, it's pretty much painless. Chapter 3 is kind of just one long hallway. And since it's a hallway, we know exactly what direction everything is going to be coming at us from. Problem is the very start of the map, there are a bunch of soldiers darted around and one archer who can kind of just take advantage of the fact that we've got a few people that really can't stand to take a hit. So it's a bit of a dangerous spot at the very beginning, trying to protect Ellen, Merlinus, Chad, and oh yeah, Chad's here, I should probably talk about him. What is my purpose? You get replaced by a thief with one working leg. Oh my god. Yeah, Chad is near useless outside of his thief utility. I mean, he's got great growths, 50% strength, 50% skill, 80% speed. He has 3 base strength. He's not going to be killing anything. He's got the durability of a wet paper bag. All he's going to do is steal and open some locks, which, to his credit, is very useful. There are about 3 chapters you need to use Chad in before you get a Stolfo, and he does his job very well there. Just, we're not gonna expect him to do anything other than the whole stealing thing, and he does get us some money, which is important. As I said earlier, this map is very easy once you get past the opening few seconds. The only enemies that really try to come at you are reinforcement cavaliers that show up only 2 at a time. So it is very easy just to kind of wait, let them come to you, and then kill them. It'll take a while, sure, they don't stop coming until turn 20, but like, we're not here to do things quickly, we're here to not die. So playing like an absolute bitch and just letting them come to us really eliminates pretty much any risk that's involved in this chapter. So, yeah. While all that's going on, I have Marcus go up north and grab Lou. And I guess what? Time to talk about him. Do you see Banana Man? Hopping over on the white hot sand. I can't use this song quite right. That would infringe upon the copyright. Lou, like pretty much every single early game mage in the franchise, is a pretty damn good unit. He has an emphasis on speed and skill instead of magic, which for this game is completely fine. See, enemies in Fire Emblem 6 don't really know what the fuck a resistance is, so their resistance is often 0 or damn near close to it. Because of this, Lou getting a lot of magic wouldn't really help his raw damage output. What would help is being able to double, cause he'll do basically his full strength twice. So that emphasis on speed really works out for him. So from start to end, Lou is gonna be able to do some pretty good damage throughout the entire game. So with this chapter easily coming to an end, all we gotta do is dick the final boss of the chapter, and that's about all that has to be done. Though this chapter did have some occurrences that I want to go over real quick. Like, oh hey, Dick got a level up that was just health and skill. Okay, that's not too bad, we can work with. Oh, Roy got a level up that was just health and strength. Okay, 2 bad level ups, we can keep going. Oh, Lance buddy, I know you're the fast one, but can you give me a little bit more than that? I really don't appreciate how everyone's just... Okay, now that is just insulting. That I cannot... Stop. Oh my god, are you... Please, just stop. Just stop doing this to me, please. Oh, come on. Wait, hold on, that one's normal. Did anyone get a good level up? You know, somehow that feels more insulting than all of the bad level ups combined. Okay, well maybe I'll have better luck in Chapter 4. And Chapter 4 is one of the ones that I was really worried about. See, in this chapter there are a lot of cavaliers coming at you at incredibly high speeds, and they're actually really scary and can do a lot of damage. And due to the nature of the map, it's a wide open plains and it can be pretty difficult to protect everyone equally. And not to mention that there are villages you gotta get to, you gotta worry about clearing a Rutger. This chapter is just gonna be a rough one. And so, I use all of my thinking power and deploy a bold new strategy. Marcus. The strategy is Marcus. I just equip his silver lance and I plop him there, and at every point when cavaliers are coming to me, all of them throw themselves on Marcus when he has the Silver Lance equipped, and they take a lot of damage for it. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, isn't giving Marcus too much XP really bad? And yes, you're right, I don't want to give Marcus a lot of XP. But let me level with you for a second here. What's worse? A, giving a Jagan that doesn't grow well maybe about a level up's worth of XP from your other units, or B, fucking dying and having to start over from chapter 1. Yeah, okay, I'll keep fighting with Marcus. But not gonna lie, even with Marcus taking over half of their health on an attack, these Cavaliers are still really rough. Lance, Allen, and Dick can barely put a dent in them, and good luck fighting them with Boars or Walt. So, what do we do here? Well, Lou can damage them pretty well, but that whole thing about them being everywhere, yeah, Lou's gonna be susceptible to a lot of damage. So, thankfully, this is the one chapter where Roy is helpful. With that rapier of his, he can do effective damage and kill them off much easier than our other units. But not the Nomads! Yeah, FE6 is one of those games where things just don't work. The rapier is a horse effective sword, and it only works on Cavaliers and Paladins, not anything else that uses a horse. Like, you know, the Nomads we're fighting. But through the power of Marcus, and well, really just through the power of Marcus, we're able to get through the opening wave of Cavaliers fine enough for Clarine to show up. Now, the sight of a green unit with no way to defend herself hurling herself into the middle of a battlefield might make you shit your pants. But Clarine is one of the few examples of Fire Emblem 6 being merciful to the player, as the enemies are programmed to never attack Clarine while she's a green unit. Once she joins your army, it's fair game, but they're merciful enough to not attack her before that point. So now that we have Clarine, let's talk about her. Clarine is our mounted healer, and her stats are, well, she doesn't know what the hell magic is, much like Ellen, having only a 3 base and a 30% growth, but her magic's not really as important as her speed and luck, which are very good. Now, luck's normally kind of a throwaway stat, but it's only really noticeable if you have a lot of it. Clarine gets a lot of it. With her high speed and her high luck, she's actually able to dodge very consistently, and if her low magic is a problem, remember what I said about Lou. There's a solid chance she'll promote and her magic might not be in the double digits, but that's fine. She's a mounted healer, and we'll be using her quite well, mainly because she pairs nicely with who we're about to get shortly afterward. Oh yeah, now's a good time to mention that I had Shauna go to the village to the south and pick up the angelic robe and use it on her. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, isn't that not smart to use stat boosters on characters like that? Shauna has bad HP, so why do you want the HP booster on her? For those that don't know, it's better to use a stat booster on a unit with a mediocre stat. Like, for example, Gonzalez has 0 resistance, so you would think, oh, I want to use the talisman on him. What magic attack that was going to kill him at 0 resistance suddenly isn't going to kill him at 2 resistance? You should use that talisman on someone like Shauna, who has good resistance, but extra would really help make it great. Or, for example, using a speed wings on Dick to help his mediocre speed, etc, etc. The angelic robe is a little bit different than that, because it gives 7 fucking health for some reason. So, it's not like the other ones. Think about it. Are there attacks that Shauna could survive at 25 HP that she couldn't at 18? Yes! The angelic robe's a special case, and we're using it on Shauna. It's a good thing we visit that village early too, because pirates start coming from the southeast to destroy the villages and just kind of be really annoying. But man, inaccurate axe-wielding pirates. It'd be really great if we got some kind of fast sword unit to take care of them. Oh well, there he is. Yeah, Rutger is considered one of the best units in the game, and that's for a good reason. On hard mode, he gets the funky hard mode bonuses, which for those who don't know, in FE6 if a unit's recruited as an enemy, they get a boost to their stats. Rutger's gonna cap speed and skill in no time, and though his strength could be a little on the low side, when you're critting everything, that doesn't really matter. So yeah, solid unit pickup and a solid grab from start to end. While Rutger is slaughtering a bunch of pirates, I want to say one more thing before we wrap this chapter and this episode up. Supports. For those of you who have been living under a rock and somehow don't know, supports are had between units that give them boosts and stats after they sit next to each other for a while. In most games, it's easy enough to get supports, just leave them next to each other or have them do things next to each other. Binding Blade does this really dumb and really weird, and I'm gonna have to talk about it for a moment. In all 3 GBA games, supports kind of work as a point metric. Every time you leave 2 units next to each other, they gain a set amount of points that vary between the 2 units. You need 60 for support C, 120 for support B, and 200 for support A. Now, in Fire Emblem 7 and 8, you can get 1 conversation between 2 people a chapter. And that's it. You can get, say, Erica and Seth to C, and then Erica and Inez to C, but you can't get Erica and Seth to C, and then Erica and Seth to B in the same chapter. Which makes sense. You can't just do every single support in one map. Binding Blade does it in a weird way, where there's a set amount of points you're allowed to get per chapter. Only 120. Basically, if you go on long enough in a chapter, you just won't be gaining any support points regardless of who you leave next to each other. So, what's the problem with that? Easy! The problem with that is that you'll naturally be leaving characters next to each other because that's how formations work. Like, are you not going to have Marcus, Nier, Lance, and Alan? But because of that, you're getting a lot of useless support points that you don't want, making it nearly impossible to effectively get up the ones that you want. For example, I don't really want Marcus to support with anyone. He's going to be benched eventually, he doesn't need the power boost. But since he's on the battlefield on the front line and supports with Alan, Lance, and Roy, if I ever have him so much as stand next to them, he'll take away support points from who I really want. Go on and so forth with, say, Lawton Ward or Dick and any of his men that I don't want them to have supports with, so it can be a little annoying to get supports up in these early chapters. Later on, you won't be having units you don't want for the long run and you can just leave them to the side of the map or whatever, but for right now, it's going to be a little hard to get supports up, so it took me this long to get Alan and Lance's C support. But hey, it's the line everyone loves!
Say the line! Yay!
And that about does it for this chapter and this episode. We simply keep using the power of Marcus to whittle down Eric and then finish him off with Rutger for that sweet, sweet boss XP. And Marcus doesn't fuck it up this time. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's not forget to... What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, thank the patrons. For those of you who don't know, I do indeed have a patron, where you can give me money so I can keep doing dumb shit. Those patrons include... Beeshner, follow Penta the North Star on Twitch, Great Riek, Green Brigand, Kieran Morin, Nember, Rangerman Sam, Rory O'Carroll, Ryan Walter, Steph D, Brentendo11, and Drew Hack. Thank you all for your continued support, and thank you for watching this episode. Next time we'll take care of chapters 5 and 6, which, shouldn't be too much of a problem? Question mark? They'll probably be a problem. They're gonna be a problem.